This video is going to cover section 401 with the exercise for the Jameson road profile using the Ohio DOT training material for Open Roads Designer. So I already have my alignment defined in the BK005 design file. So I'm going to go ahead and open that file. And we'll use this file to store our proposed profile for Jameson Road. So when the file is open, I can see that I have the survey information attached. And using my element selection tool, I can see that my terrain has been set as the active terrain. I also have the center line of State Route 185 attached, and this is our center line of Jameson Road that we're going to use to define our profile. So to get started, I'm going to open a profile view by holding down the right button. From View Control, I'll pick two views, Plan and Profile. I'm going to ask me to select OK to create the dynamic profile. I'll pick OK, and I'll pick the Plan element, and then click in the view window that was open to display the profile. Okay, when the profile is displayed, I'm just going to go ahead and expand this view and then use the Fit command to fit the profile. Actually, I didn't need to expand that yet because the first thing I want to do is display the intersection of State Route 185 with its center line and profile over here. So to do that, in our Open Roads Modeling group, under the Geometry tab in Vertical Tools, Profile Creation, we're going to pick the Profile Intersection Point command. So it's asking me to locate the element to show the intersection. So I want to show an intersection on the Jameson Road alignment, and it asks me to locate element which intersects. Well, we're going to use the State Route 185 alignment and profile, and I'll do a fit, and you can see I have a point here where that profile intersects on Jameson Road coming into State Route 185. So now I'll go ahead and expand the view and do a fit, and we'll start to define our proposed profile. So I'm going to do this in segments. I'm going to start from the starting point and define a tangent moving forward, and then when I intersect 185, I'm going to start here and work backwards because I'm going to use a slope that matches the super elevation slope that's going to be used for State Route 185. So I haven't defined my super elevation yet, and I haven't defined my corridor yet, but I know that I'm going to have an 8% super. So I want to come off this point at 8%, and I'm going to come off at 3%. And then wherever that point ends up, I'm going to connect that to the tangent that I defined back here. So we'll start by putting in a profile line between points, and I'm going to need Civil AccuDraw to assist doing this. So I'll turn on Civil AccuDraw. I'm going to use the Profile Offset option. And I want to make sure I choose a feature definition, and I can either do that here in the Tool Settings dialog or in the Feature Definition toolbar, either one. So we're going to use the same feature that we use for our Plan View alignment, the GEP alignment. And if I make that active, that brings that into my Tool Settings window. I'm not going to worry about the name of the pieces, but when I connect this together as a profile, I want to make sure I name that profile using something out of ODOT standards. So looking at the training material for the Jameson Road profile on page 401-12, I can see the starting station is station 12 plus 00, and our profile offset is going to be 0. Well, again, I need to define the element that's going to be used as the origin for that offset. So when the profile offset field has the keyboard focus, I'll use the O key on the keyboard to select the origin, and I'm just picking that existing ground element. So now I can type in an offset of 0 relative to that element, and that's going to lock me into that station and offset. I'll left click to accept that point. So with the first point defined, I'm going to change my Civil AccuDraw ordinate to the slope option. So this is going to go up to station 12 plus 75, and our slope is minus 0.65. Now there's two places the slope is defined, not just the Civil AccuDraw field, but also in the parameters. So I want to make sure that I have a minus 0.65 there. And that should give me the value that I need. So I'll go ahead and accept that point. So that defines my first tangent. I don't need Civil AccuDraw, so I'll turn that off. Now I'm going to start from this point and work backwards. So still on the line between points command, I'm I'm going to snap to the intersection with the State Route 185 profile. And I'm going to work backwards. And this is going to be a length of 12 feet. Zoom in on that. Let's change that length to minus 12. And my slope is going to be minus 8. So that's going to lock in those parameters, so I'll accept that to put in that point. Put in another line coming off that, and again I'm going to do a length of minus 12 feet. And move over to the slope field, and it's going to be minus 3%. Accept that. So with those 2 points defined, or the 2 tangents defined, my next piece is going to connect these together. So I'm just going to draw another line between points by snapping to the first tangent and then snapping to this one. So now that I have my tangents defined, I can fit my curves in. So in the vertical tools, I'll pick a curve between elements using the parabola between elements command. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a 100-foot curve here, and then this one is going to get a 10-foot curve, and that one actually is not going to have any curve there. So I'll pick my back tangent element, my head tangent element, and the curve length here is 100 feet. So enter that value, accept that, and it's asking me to trim extend, and again the option here, I can trim extend both, neither element, the back element or the head element. So I'm going to trim both of these off, so I'll accept that. Go ahead and put in a curve on this one, so I'll pick this tangent line, this one gets a 10-foot curve, accept that, and I will trim both of those. Again, no curve on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and make a complex element out of this. So in my vertical tools, I'll pick a complex geometry, profile complex by elements, automatic mode, so it's looking for elements that connect within this gap. And I will give this a name. So this is my proposed grade line, PGL underscore, and then the name of the alignment it belongs to, COP underscore Jameson. So that naming convention is defined in Ohio's, the Ohio DOT CAD Engineering Standards Manual. So I'll pick the first element. In automatic mode, it's going to highlight all the elements, and then I'll go ahead and accept that. So if I select the element from the pop-up menu, I want to make that the active profile. So with my profile defined and set as the active profile, that completes this exercise, and we're ready to move on to the next step in our design process.